Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. I hope you had a great day. Let's take a look at some new malicious compliance stories, shall we? The first story is called Longer Means Better. At the time, I worked in a telecoms contact center. I worked for a rather large Australian provider that everyone knows and actively hates, mostly because it's fun to hate them. In this story, we were doing outbound calls to transition people onto the new national broadcasting network. For those of you unfamiliar with Australia's internet, it was third world, literally. We were slower than Nigeria, until we rolled out the NBN and upgraded to slightly faster third world speeds. Also worth mentioning, much like the company I worked for, the NBN was universally hated. Cause it was bad. Like all call centers, we had a bunch of miserable hoops to jump through in order to bring our paycheck up to a level that could be considered humane. Our capitalist overlords refer to these hoops as KPIs, key performance indicators. Anyway, with the new campaign came a new set of KPIs. Conversion rate, active call time, after call time and customer satisfaction were the KPIs of the day. Now, these KPIs were normally all just a mess. You needed to meet some god tier numbers in order to collect a half decent paycheck. However, in this particular case, there was a loophole. Due to the controversial nature of the NBN, we were told to focus on quality over quantity. They wanted an excellent customer experience, and the new KPIs were a reflection of that. As such, quantity of conversions was not a KPI. I questioned if we had time limits on calls. I was told, we don't care what you do, but a long call means a good experience. So keep them on the line and get them switched over. And so began the best work month I had at that soul trap. Before entering comms, I was a salesman in aged care, and a pretty good one at that. You know that stereotype of all people talking for eternity and beyond? It's a stereotype for a reason. Each morning I would log in and volunteer for the aged clientele campaign. This was easy, because they were normally the hardest people to convert. Fearful of scams, technology and such, so not many people wanted to do it. And then I would start to chat. When speaking with the elderly, all it takes is a well-placed poke or two and you can literally have them speak for hours. So for the next month I took 2 to 4 calls a day, down from 20 to 30. I had almost zero after call time. The calls were so long I didn't need it. I had an 80% conversion rate and 90% customer satisfaction. Turns out people tend to like you after you take the time to listen to them. Each phone call, assuming I wasn't told to screw off upon introducing myself, would last 2 to 3 hours minimum. My record was a 7-hour call to a lovely bloke named Stan. I ended up doubling my normal paycheck. And my managers, while not being entirely happy with my nonsense, put up with it. At the end of the day, those were the rules and KPIs we were given. I got my paycheck, the oldies got a good chat, and my employer got to pay through the nose. Happy endings for all. I proceeded to hand in my resignation once KPIs went back to normal, which I, to this day, regard as one of the best decisions I ever made. The next story is called You Could Just Fix It. A combination of executive manglement, laziness and too much work means that our IT department is really on top of everything. When it comes to my department, this tends to manifest in 2 ways. Either they ignore our problems, or a temporary workaround is developed which requires extra effort on our part. And then they ignore the problem, rendering the temporary workaround a permanent solution. For entirely too long, the most common solution IT would offer was to tell us to cancel the offending order, and then re-enter it and hope the glitch doesn't recur. You may notice that means that my department is left doing significantly more work so IT doesn't have to do theirs. We would, of course, complain and be told to enter a ticket for any new issue. In times past, we would submit 1 ticket for any specific glitch, no matter how many times it occurred. This was to save IT the trouble of having to close duplicate tickets. But with their reticence to get anything done, we had to get creative. We started submitting a ticket for each new issue and every instance of a glitch, even if that particular glitch had already been reported on as happening on a different order. The number of tickets we were submitting exploded. We started submitting tickets for issues temporarily resolved 6 months ago in addition to any new glitches. And there were a lot of issues since our new computer system hadn't been redlined before they pushed it out to us. To make matters worse, we even submitted tickets for orders that we went ahead and resolved on our own, using the prescribed workarounds. When IT inquired about those tickets, all they had to do was close them, which was extra busy work for them. Mangleman started to become very upset with IT over the massive amount of unclosed tickets. And IT started panicking, asking us to hold off on submitting tickets. We graciously back off for a week and allow IT to clean up their queues. But then they are back to their old habits of not fixing our problems, so we turn up the heat again. IT asked us to back off again. So the more polite among us told them, this is what you asked us to do. Or we just want to keep you informed on the progress. But our boss, Sarah, flat out told IT, my team doesn't have time to cover for you. Do your job and solve our problems. Eventually, IT got the message and started solving the underlying problems. But even now, there are some problems they are only getting to after 2 years of complaints. The last story is called Just Do Your Job. I work in a manufacturing facility. I've been there long enough to learn how to do almost everything. So I'm often asked to fill in, troubleshoot and train new people. We had a new person transfer into the department. I have worked with him before and trained him on a few things. Let's call him Chad. At the current time, I am assigned to Station 2 and Chad is assigned to the 3rd station. To be clear, I am not the boss of either station. Station 3 is one of the few I am not entirely familiar with. I know how to bypass it, but for some reason management and quality control don't like it when I do that. Something about being non-compliant and the bypass taking longer than doing it the right way in the first place. Chad is friends with people in management, so he occasionally goofs off. The rest of us, being team players, will pick up Chad's slack, but we are getting tired of it. Along comes crunch time. The rest of the team is pulling 60 hours, 6-day work weeks. But Chad is married to his normal 40 hours, 5-day work week. We are falling behind, so it should be all hands on deck. Unfortunately for us, both management and Chad value their weekends. An order comes to us. Station 1, no problem. Station 2, a little messy, but nothing unusual. It is Station 3's normal responsibility to clean up a bit. I pass the order to Chad in Station 3. Station 3, problem. It's a rush order, the end of the day, but Chad wants to go home. Well, I say the end of the day, but the rest of us will be pulling a couple of hours of overtime. Chad could pass the order off to someone else at Station 3, but then they would get credit for it. However, if he pushes it back into my hands and I force the order to bypass Station 3, the system will register him as having processed it. So, as expected, Chad approaches me with, "Can you take care of this for me, bro? I got places to be. It will look bad for the department if this doesn't get done. Just do your job." I give Chad a look, thinking, 1. Management hates when I bypass stations. 2. I also got places to be, bro, but I'm still staying here for another 2 hours. 3. I'm not the boss. It may look bad for the department, but it won't look bad for me. 4. I finished my job the instant I handed this order off to you. 5. I'm getting supremely tired of Chad's crap. So, I smile a hard, bright smile. Sure thing, Chad. I will just do my job. Enjoy your weekend. Chad leaves, and I go back to my work at Station 2. And the order in question sits on Chad's desk at Station 3 undone for the entire weekend. Turns out this order was for an important client. It also turns out Chad had gone scheduled Monday and Tuesday off due to his friends in management. A 4-day weekend. During crunch time. When everyone else is pulling 6-day work weeks. To say management was angry would be inaccurate. They were approaching him incandescently furious. On Wednesday, Chad came back. He was immediately pulled into a meeting. There he was cut down, shoot up, reamed out, told he better shape up or they were going to ship him out. There was no help for Chad from his friends in management. Higher managers had started to take note of the exceptions being taken on Chad's behalf. And Chad's friends were looking to cover themselves. Chad comes to me sullenly. "I don't know why you just didn't do the thing." "But Chad," I protested, "I did what you told me to. I just did my job." Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click here to subscribe to the channel. And if you missed the robot voice, click here to subscribe to Penguin Storytime 2, where you can find all the old robot voice videos. I hope you have a great day. Bye bye!